Welcome to the AC 24/7 Top Story Countdown. We'll guide you through the biggest news of the day. Our focus, advocating our rights, advocating health, and advocating Earth. Here's our pick for number 4.
Is Ed Sheeran's 2014 hit Thinking Out Loud
Darling, I will be loving you.
a copy of the Marvin Gaye 1973 classic?
Let's get it on.
Those chord progressions are at the heart of a lawsuit playing out in a federal courtroom this week.
I'm here for justice, protecting my father's intellectual properties.
The heirs of Ed Townsend, Gaye's co-writer, are suing Sheeran for copyright infringement.
Both songs share a similar 2-bar chord loop, and the songs are a similar tempo and that dreaded word have a similar vibe.
But the songs are not exactly the same. Sheeran's legal team arguing both hits rely on sounds common in pop music. Forensic musicologist Joe Bennett agrees.
Popular music has to appeal to a large amount of people, and that means that songwriters tend to use a lot of the same building blocks.
He says countless songs rely on the same chord progression.
Chords 1, 3, 4, and 5, based on the notes of the major scale, are a pretty common thing in music.
And believes cases like this could ultimately be damaging for songwriters, as Sheeran has previously argued.
I think it'd be very concerning if any one artist or any one estate, any one publisher were to own the copyright on one of these basic, simple musical building blocks, because it would prevent anyone else from using it.
TheAdvocateChannel.com looks at the world through the lens of equality and inclusion. Subscribe, like, and share now. AC 24/7's Top Story Countdown continues with our producer's pick for number 3.
A violent attack with a metal rod caught on camera.
Clearly it was hitting his head. He was bleeding from his head.
The victim, former San Francisco Fire Commissioner Don Carmignani. The suspect, a homeless man.
Really? At what point do you fight back? I mean, Donnie could die.
In a neighborhood where some locals are fed up with the problem. It seemed like a clear-cut assault case until it arrived in court. And the public defender for the suspect, Garrett Doty, released this video saying it shows the ex-fire official walking up to Doty, pulling out a can of bear spray and spraying the man as he lay on the ground. That's when the man appears to get up and the pair begin to scuffle. A short chase leads up to the beating.
Unless Mr. Carmignani is credible and believable, they don't have a prosecution.
Doty's public defender says it may not even end there. She also points to this video entered into evidence by the district attorney, she says, showing the 2021 bear spraying of another homeless man. The question now, is this also Carmignani?
I don't know. I have a strong suspicion that they are because of similar descriptions and a similar MO. But I think most importantly, it's the district attorney and the police who chose to include these in the discovery for this case.
Hathaway says there are 8 separate instances of bear spray assaults on homeless people entered into the case by the district attorney.
The victims are either asleep, in their tents, sitting on a bench, minding their own business.
I'm an old guy. And I could have been a dead guy.
Carmignani himself told CNN affiliate KPIX that he denied to authorities that he was the man in the other attacks, including this one from 2021.
They show me a person of interest, and that wasn't me.
Carmignani says he is a victim, attacked after trying to remove homeless people he says were doing drugs outside of his parents' home. His attorney releasing this video of his alleged attacker picking up a metal rod, then practicing his swing.
The impact in the back of my head went through my skull.
Carmignani did not show up for a scheduled court appearance Thursday where he was subpoenaed to testify. Prosecutors say he's still recovering from extensive injuries and said they are not dropping the case against his alleged attacker. These new videos now making justice in this case curious and complicated.
Like the Advocate channel on Facebook for the best way to get updates on stories that advocate for equality, justice, our rights, and more. AC 24/7 continues with today's top 2 pick. Across the U.S., COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths are trending down. But over the course of more than 3 years, the virus stole lives and made many severely sick.
We thought we were the best prepared country.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, former director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, says there were some successes over the pandemic, including the rapid development of the vaccine. But the U.S., one of the wealthiest nations on earth, racked up more than 1.1 million deaths from COVID-19, a death toll that outpaced those of most other countries. Fauci says 2 problems led to this: divisiveness of politics, which caused distrust in public health recommendations to get vaccinated and wear masks in public.
There was a lot of, opposition of do this, don't do this, people pushing back. Those people could not all be wrong. We've got to understand what the underlying reason why they were pushing back.
Fauci also says the U.S. public health departments and for-profit healthcare system are largely disconnected.
When it came to the implementation of public health, the uniformity of a response, the communication, the ability to get data in real time, we really fell very short.
But he says the lessons learned during this pandemic may help prepare us for future ones. Follow the Advocate Channel on Twitter and Instagram to stay updated on stories that matter every day. Here's our #1 story of the day. Take a look.
Brittney Griner unveiling a mural of American detainees held abroad. The 32-year-old American basketball star speaking to the media for the first time since her release from detention in Russia in December. Griner got emotional when asked how she found the resilience to finally speak out.
I'm no stranger to hard times, so. See, you cried and you made me cry. Just digging deep, honestly. You're going to be faced with adversities throughout your life. This was a pretty big one, but I just kind of relied on my hard work, getting through it.
Griner was detained for nearly 10 months, much of it in a bleak, remote penal colony about 300 miles from Moscow. She'd received a 9-year sentence for drug smuggling after being arrested at a Moscow airport carrying cannabis oil in vape cartridges just before the Ukraine war started. Griner said she'd packed the cartridges by accident. Today, she said during some of her more desolate moments in detention, seeing pictures of her family and images of the efforts to get her out meant everything.
It made me a little bit have hope, which is a really hard thing to have, a really dangerous thing to have, because when it doesn't work, it's so crushing.
And she spoke of what she'd tell Paul Whelan and Evan Gershkovich, 2 Americans now held in Russia, and all the other wrongfully detained Americans abroad.
Stay strong, keep fighting, don't give up, just keep waking up, find a little routine, and stick to that routine and as best you can. I know that's what helped me.
Asked if she felt guilt for her release after a shorter time in detention than Whelan and some others, Griner said if she could have gotten them out herself, she would have. She pointedly made no specific mention of the conditions she faced in Russian detention, except at one moment.
No one should be in those conditions. Hands down, no one should be in any of the conditions that I went through or they're going through.
Jason Rezaian, the Washington Post writer who was held in Iran for nearly a year and a half, told us about what Griner may be going through emotionally right now.
Once you've been isolated and confined and have had choice taken from you for that long, it's not really natural to just kind of come back to freedom. And then couple that with sort of not being able to understand, hey, why am I not happier about this?
Thanks for watching the Advocate Channel's top stories. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow, like, and share, or check out advocatechannel.com for even more stories that advocate for you.